Welcome back. Before we went on break, Governor Shekarau had answered a question which seemed to suggest he had ideas about population control. The next question I have is about power, but before I go to the question about power, I would like to ask Governor Shekarau if he would like to say something about the idea of population control.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's true, part of the problem we are having is managing the population explosion we are having. But I want to make it very clear that population growth is a global phenomenon. There is no nation that is not experiencing the population growth. The world population has been on the increase for the last centuries. So it's not just about holding it, it's about controlling it and managing it. See, it's not just
How would that be done?
Pardon?
How exactly would we
Of course,
manage?
through education and enlightenment. You have to educate the people. Unfortunately, Nigeria is still lingering with a very high percentage of illiteracy. We're still talking about 55 to 60, some even argue it's over 60 level of illiteracy. And this is something that goes along with the level of enlightenment, with the level of literacy. Until and unless you are able to raise up the level of literacy, because that is the only time when people will appreciate the need to control that whatever services you are providing to them has to go along with the population aspect. Education, health, water supply, road network, this NYC thing we're talking about, unless you get education across the line. So I agree with you that there's need for the control, but the only way to control it is through proper education. The more educated people you have, the higher the chances of controlling the population. So you can't separate the issue of population growth from a level of illiteracy.
But
No, we need that. We need that, honestly. But while you are doing that, we must also create a situation where we'll be able to contain and manage the population of what we have all over the place. If we talk of education now,
he has said fairly well, but there are more to that than just the education. We have seen countries that have controlled or are able to manage the problem of a population. The good thing about the world today, things are out there, and you can always pick it. You can learn from others and from the experience of others. We have seen what India has done or what they are doing. We have seen what China, and I'm not suggesting that we could go to that extent. I believe it's a combination of several factors. Good quality management, ability for government to understand that this is going to be a challenge and plan ahead. It will require, of course, a heavy dose of education, better health delivery, ability for you to plan well and get things ready even ahead of time.
Yeah, for me, planning is everything. If there's one thing I've learned outside, is that what is going to happen in the next 50 years, some people are already planning it. But we leave everything to the last minute, so at the end of the day, it collapses. So once we get better managers, better planners, then we're on our road to recovery.
Well, thank you very much. The issue of power is very central to our development, very central to our growth, particularly when you're talking of the growth in business, in the economy, in technology. In fact, the power issue is now almost a thing of virtually every aspect of our growth. So it is very central to that. Unfortunately, this sector had been neglected for too long. This is the same problem of management, the same problem of insincerity in addressing issues and misapplication of our resources. The nation has been growing in various aspects of demands, and the supply of electricity has not been meeting up to this demand. We are putting in so many infrastructure which are not being able to meet it up with the demand of power and electricity. And it's not just about having the funds. I agree with my brother Dele. It is something to do with the planning. You must be sincere in planning it. Because if you have the funds and you don't have the right planning, your funds will be misapplied and misappropriated. I believe the issue of power needs a lot of attention. It's not just funding. Given the chance to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we'll sit down and analyze what exactly had been the problem of the power sector for all these years. What had been the input of funding? What has been the result of this funding? Then we plan in sequence, in phases. Another thing that I think needs to be done is total decentralization of the power generation. We need to decentralize so that we compartmentalize all this generation of power, distribution, and...
Thank you, Governor Shekarau.
Thank you.
Chief Mahmoud.
We all know what is wrong in the sector. Every Nigerian knows the problems. It's always the solution that is the problem. Now, the first thing we want to do is to make sure that even the little that we have is better managed. There are countries in West Africa, I'm very familiar with West Africa a lot, where the planning is done in such a way that the cities are zoned. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., zone 8 will have electricity, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., then it will go to another zone. That way you are able to plan. In my house, if they take light now for the next 4 days, I don't know when it will come back. So we must urgently address that. It's all about planning again. The other thing is that when you talk about decentralization, there are so many ways of generating electricity these days in the world. But it seems that we're only concentrating on what we are being used to. Right now we have 3 hydropower plants, we have 6 thermal plants, but we must go and look for something else. We have a vast deposit of coal in Nigeria that can give us very clean energy. Nobody is doing anything about it. We have wind blows everywhere. Today, a lot of countries are generating electricity from wind. We have biomass, we have a lot of waste.
So all these things that you would specifically do if you became president?
All these we must go into immediately. But the first thing is that in the first 1 year, we must upgrade the present system. I read a lot of reports about it. Everything has broken down. Every year, we see the budget, huge amount of money. So for me, I'm not even going to be talking about putting in more money, because what they've done with the other money, we don't even know. Nobody tells us. Every year, in the last 12 years of the PDP administration, we spent about 10 billion. Yet, we are not able to generate 5,000 megawatts. It's unacceptable.
Thank you, Chief Momodu. Madam Ribadu.
Yes. How do we get light, electricity? First, you need to do something about the bureaucracy and the confusion right now, going on. We don't have a clear direction. We don't even know who is in charge of our power sector. Is it the president? Is it the minister of power? Is it his advisor? Is it about 4 or 5 agencies that they have created without no result? Address that. 2, work on getting value for what you have already. We have invested over $10 billion into that sector. We are yet to get results. Work and get results. Address problem of corruption and mismanagement. 2, these are going to be short-term and mid-term things that you need to do immediately. Diversify. Bring in other areas so that you'll be able to take care of the sabotage problems and things like that. Get, for example, possibility of getting electricity through coal. Dele said so. We could get coal from Benue State, Kogi, and Enugu. We have a large concentration of coal in those areas. You can get solar. It's possible. You can get small dams. They are all doable within a short period of time. more importantly, I think we also have to do something about those who are bringing generators into our own country. Make it less attractive. Because today, it is almost like a mafia. They will certainly do whatever that is possible for us to continue to depend on them. We have to do something about it. Those are some of the things that can be done immediate. And I can assure you, in 2 years' time, if you work hard, you can get electricity. It's not a very difficult, complicated problem, as PDP almost made us to believe. It is possible we can get electricity.
Do you think it's possible to have a reliable and regular electricity supply system without raising the present tariffs?
It is possible. Today, our supposedly...
I've just asked a question. This is a new question.
I have suffered that in the last debate.
Please, Madam Everybody, please continue.
Anytime I was about to make a point, ma'am. So, you see, the point is, you could get it. We have an installed capacity today about close to about 7,000 megawatt. We are getting less than half of that. Already, we have this plant, the ones that the last government gave out, about 13 of them. Some of them are halfway. If we get back, and when I said that we need to get value for what we have already invested, it's very possible we can get them working in a short period of time. Those ones are doable. What are the challenges they have now? At the time when they were giving out those contracts, it's so unfortunate, it's so tragic. They gave out contracts to bring in equipment without realizing that, of course, those machines, these huge, heavy-duty turbines, will not be able to even reach the destination. Some of them were brought and dropped at the port. Those you solve immediately and you'll be able to get light.
Without raising the present tariff?
Without raising the present tariff.
Governor Shekara, would you like to say something
Well,
about
I think when you are talking of regular, reliable, stable supply, there's no way you can do away with the issue of the tariff. See, I think I will be speaking the minds of very many Nigerians if I say that what they're after is regular, reliable supply. They will be ready to pay for the services if it is there for them to take. I am sure whoever is going to generate, to distribute, and give people electricity will be ready to charge some tariff that will sustain the system, especially when you're talking about privatization. The private sector cannot come in and provide these services without getting the value for the services they are rendering. The only thing we will need to do, government, of course, will not just throw it out there to the private sector to charge whatever they like. The world over, what is happening is that government regulates. It comes in as the intermediary between the supplier and the consumer. You have to regulate the tariff, but definitely the issue of tariff will come in, and I'm sure nobody will quarrel if the supply is regular, is reliable. Tariff will naturally go up. So long as the tariff is justifiable, what my government, given the chance, will do is to allow the private sector to come in, and the government will intervene. We have the machinery in government to judge what are the inputs by the private sector, what is the involvement, what is the cost of generating the electricity and giving it to the consumer. Then government will now judge how much will the tariff be to enable the provider of this service to remain in service for the consumer to keep on benefiting. So I think this is the only way you can control the tariff, but definitely you cannot maintain the current tariff and expect regular and reliable supply.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chief Mamadou.
Yeah, I disagree on the issue of tariff. You see, that's like trying to practice capitalism without capital. You see, a society where you want to increase the tariff must be a place where most of the people are gainfully employed. Already, the poor man is suffering. What you need to do is to first of all go to those government agencies. They don't pay. If I did my research, and I can tell you today that a lot of the government agencies don't bother to pay. And nobody
they don't pay
can
what?
They don't pay to PHCN. They just use electricity. They are so irresponsible And now you want to transfer their responsibility to the people of Nigeria. When we were increasing the price of fuel in Nigeria, it was the same argument that when you increase it, there will be better services, then there will be no long queues, but we still see those long queues sporadically. So I would suggest that first let us take care of supply. When we supply, then we will now take care of demand. And then those who demand it will now have an option. So it will not be like now where we have to rely solely on generators and things like that. And some people are just there using the electricity free of charge.
But do you really think that if these people who you claim don't pay started to pay, would that really make a difference?
No, it will, because then at least a lot of money would have accrued to the supplier. You see, but if already you are creating panic, because what you are telling us is that for us to have electricity, we have to pay a lot more, you are going to privatize it, and you are not even dealing with the existing debts, then it's going to be difficult. Because we already have a huge problem at hand in the area of unemployment. So even if you give electricity and you insist that these people must pay, they can't afford to pay.
Thank you, Chief Momodu. Now, this question is this is my question. It seems to me that the central problem with our political system is incompetence, that people are in positions for which they're not suitably qualified.
That's right.
Now, my question to you is,
That's right.
how would you appoint your ministers? What criteria would you use? Do you, for example, now have specific names of people who might be your advisors, for example, on power, on education? Governor Shekarau.
Well, I think, you see, I have identified there are 5 measures to ensure proper implementation of government programs. And of course, one of them is getting and identifying the right people. Of course, number 1 is the sincerity of purpose. Number 2, planning. Number 3, getting the right people to do it. Number 4 is judicious management of resources. And finally, exemplary conduct by the leadership. The issue of getting the right people to do the job is certainly one of the major problems of implementing our programs in Nigeria. And the rate of turnover as well. What we are experiencing today is largely party patronage. When people get elected into office, they appoint people in office, not necessarily based on their competence and the relevance. Is what role did he play in the political activity in bringing you in? I am not saying politicians need not to be patronized and take from the pool, but even from within. I have done it in Kano. I made sure when I was forming my cabinet, I resisted a lot of influence from the political class, so to say. Of course, they will have a role. I have a forum to discuss with my caucus of the party, but I did not allow that to override the quality of people I want to take. I made sure I take the right people, and this is why we had continuity. I carried along in my second tenure when I came for the last 4 years, about 80% of those who served me in the council. There were a lot of complaints here and there, but later on people came to discover that this continuity is very, very important. So I think to address the question you asked, we need to cross the bridge first. It's not right for me now to have start mentioning names.
You don't have to tell us the names, but we're just wondering if you have these names, because if you believe that you will be president, it might be a good idea to plan early.
Well, my concern is naturally you start identifying people as you go along, so that you don't go into the job without any planning, without any focus, without any vision. But the key is the right people. Of course, in the process of getting the right people, you make sure there is equity. There is all-inclusive governance, allowing people from different parts of Nigeria to participate, but not at the expense of quality and relevance.
Thank you, Governor Shakira. Chief Momodu.
I'm luckier than both of them. One, I'm a businessman, I'm a technocrat. I'm not in a very big party of big godfathers, of people who will come back after donating billions for rallies to say, you must give me 10 ministers. I can assure you that when I become president, I would love to have my brother in my cabinet. I've identified the area of competence. have identified his area of competence, and why belabor him with what he doesn't know? I believe his area of competence is not the economy, so I won't waste his time. I would like to have it. I've been able to recognize him. I said it publicly on television. I was very impressed by his performance at the last debate. I see no reason why he cannot join our cabinet. We are friends.
Thank you, Chief Momodu. Madam Ribadu, what criteria?
So, but it's very serious. I can tell you, it's been my dream since 1993 that Nigeria will get to a stage where we can have a government of national unity. This country is bleeding. There is so much tension. So the best way to do it is to have a star-studded cabinet. I don't care whether you are in PDP. I cannot be in PDP, and a Donald Duke will be jobless in Nigeria. It's unfortunate. So these are the caliber of people that we need to move our nation forward.
Thank you.
And that will we do.
Thank you, Chief Momodu. Madam Ribadu, what criteria would you use if you became president?
First of all, I want to thank you for his offer. And I take it for a compliment. Thank you. You are right, and it's the beginning of whether you are going to deliver or not. Luckily for us, in Nigeria, we have extremely very competent people across. Nigerians are the best all over, and I always feel so happy and proud when names are mentioned. Go to the US, UK, they are doing their best. We do intend to bring them back. We do intend to look for the best Nigerians we can get all over the world. And luckily again, unlike Dele, I'm from a party that really has done it. Competence. The Action Congress of Nigeria today is a party of change. It's a party of progress. It's a party of young people. You have seen what is happening in Lagos State. You have seen what is happening in all the states that are in control. We are going to do it in Abuja. We believe that for us to get it right, we must bring in our best. And we are going to put politics outside it. Practically, if we are in there, first and foremost, we do intend to make sure that the names of people who are going to come into government and their portfolios will be announced ahead of time, before it goes to National Assembly. I would say Chinamanda is going to be minister of this before sending the name to National Assembly, so that it will be open, so that the National Assembly will be able to deliberate and talk about your own competence and your own area that you are going to work. And both those basic, simple things will be able to make the difference for us. Certainly, we do intend to bring in our best, and that is going to make a difference.
Thank you, Madam Ribadu. We will take a break, and we will be right back.